Hi everyone, welcome back to more of Hunter's Moon, a Sovereign Syndicate Adventure. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So this is going to be a little different. This is going to be sort of an early game review as far as things have gone so far. So the game hasn't even come out yet when I'm recording this, so there are still things that can be changed and stuff. I've about 4.5 hours into the game now, have a bit more of an understanding of how things work, and have played it quite a bit, and actually found this quite compelling. I'm really enjoying a lot of the story aspects that are in it, and we'll kind of jump into that here in a minute. So we're going to jump in and show where I'm at. We're going to talk a little bit. And then, my character's not there. Probably because we're in the airship. So this is sort of the meta progression stuff here, although I haven't died yet, so I'm not sure what happens when you die. That'll be interesting. I don't have any of the other characters unlocked, just the first one, Molly. So we can take a look at our agents here real quick. So this is Molly. This is our perks menu and stuff for her, so I have quite a few things unlocked, but we'll kind of jump back here in just a second. So we can repair and upgrade stuff on the ship, and this is how we will unlock additional characters. So one of them is trapped here in the armory upgrades. I could have gotten this character Nandi unlocked, but I went for some other upgrades instead. So this is for salvage that we find doing stuff. We have to kind of go out of our way to find salvage to upgrade the ship. Very similar in a lot of ways. Everything in this game is actually very similar to Menace from the Deep, which is a really good Lovecraftian card game. And this has a lot of the same systems. So this is kind of like how you would build up your base in Menace from the Deep. With salvage, you'd pick up on your runs. I'm assuming in this game, if you die, you just come back here to the airship and just make another run. I don't think you actually die like in Menace from the Deep. And then we have experience up here, which is how we get our talent points. So this is kind of the total talent points we have, and then I've spent it over here on this character. I would assume that you only get talent points for this particular character, so when I get another character unlocked, they're not going to have any talent points. I'll have to make runs with them. It's an interesting system. It works fine for unlocking new abilities and things. So right now we've got some extra health for my dog. We start with some regeneration. Hercules, our dog, starts with some extra health. We start with some evasion, so we're less likely to get hit. We get a little bit of a discount at the vendor, and now all the opponents start with some vulnerability. So this has similar systems in it to Menace from the Deep, where there are relics you can pick up, which affect gameplay stuff. There's also the consumables you can use once off in combat that'll do various different things. It is very similar in a lot of ways to the way a lot of that stuff works in Menace from the Deep. There are some changes. There's a lot more kind of trade-offs. Instead of just a positive, they might have a trade-off. And a lot of those are found in tarot cards, which is a whole other system. You can have up to 3 tarot cards equipped for your character, possibly more depending on the character, but this character can only have 3. And each one will give you some kind of benefit. So some of the basic ones are like, hey, when you shuffle your deck, you get an extra action. No downside, totally good. Others are kind of like some of the talents in Menace from the Deep, where like, if someone attacks you, they get poisoned. But you start with 4 ticks of poison. So you're going to end up taking 10 points of damage of poison over that time period. Others might be things like preventing the first couple losses of sanity that would hit you, but you lose 5 health at the start of every battle. So a lot of those, I feel like the trade-offs aren't really good. It might depend on the character, though, and what you've unlocked. So a lot of those that have downsides I've kind of avoided, and others are sort of iffy, I could kind of think. But it's interesting. So a lot of what's interesting in this game that's different is the way the missions work, and we'll look at that in just a minute. So we've looked at kind of the upgrades, which you didn't get to see in my previous video when the game came out, and then the agent upgrades. So just a quick look at some of that stuff. So this is just for this character. So when we jump into missions, I only have Molly unlocked, so that's what we can do. So we jump in, we continue with Molly. So I've finished everything here in the Withering Woods. Or have I? So I've defeated the main boss in the last run, Old Tom, but I've only done 4 of the 8 missions, and as you're going through exploring an area, you're picking up pieces of information. So to find and fight Old Tom, I had to pick up a bunch of clues in a couple different runs, and each run at a location is multiple different scenarios. So like the last one I went through, the first one was investigating a series of cult gatherings. So I had to kind of go through and do that, and there was a kind of a resolution at the end. So it was just sort of do a bunch of stuff, do that at the end, maybe you'll pick up some clues along the way that might lead to information about Old Tom or other things going on. And none of those have repeated, which is really, really cool. Now that I've completed it, some of the stuff might repeat, because it might have you fight the same boss again if you wanted to, but it looks like I've kind of finished this. We've got the seal. I have done a mission down here, Dust, Flesh, and Steel already too. The second one after the cult meeting was looking for some police officers who went missing in the area, and it kind of leads you to a fight against a kelpie, which was like a big anglerfish, and instead of a lure, it had like a drowned-looking woman, so kind of luring people into the water to attack. And then because I'd collected all the clues during those two missions back to back, where it's kind of building up, you're getting more stuff, getting more cards, getting relics. You have a little bit of a downtime between the two, but it's not in the airship. It's sort of like as you're going through the woods, you get a little bit of a rest, and then you kind of go back to it. So things do get progressively harder, and there's a mechanic for that we'll look at when we get in, which I didn't quite understand when I made the first video about this. So it looks like I can go back to the Withering Woods. There are still other missions I can do, but I think we'll move on to look at Dust, Flesh, and Steel, because there's some interesting enemies here in Dust, Flesh, and Steel. This is more like wilderness area. This is in the city itself. So, in the industrial outskirts of London's East End, the deranged professor Alaric Vane has discovered an unholy new technology. Under the eerie glow of the unending moon, rusted machinery brings flesh to life. Meanwhile, the streets become even more chaotic as the Vukasin, or werewolf contagion, is carried on the wings of an anarchist revolution. So, we still have one more answer to find, which will probably lead us to a boss. But, yeah, we're going to jump into this. So I'm hoping if you unlock the other characters, they're going to be much stronger. So you can kind of see we have a little bit of a boost now to our sanity and health over where we were before. But that's about it. And that's going to carry across everyone. But the other characters are really difficult and time-consuming to unlock. And that's something that Menace from the Deep didn't do that well, I think, was the meta progression for recruiting the supplies you needed to upgrade your base were so difficult that I finished the game and played every single deck with the DLC character before I actually completed upgrading everything at the base. And those things didn't change when the DLC came out. So I beat the game there was still like 7 or 8 things at the base I hadn't even unlocked yet when I beat the game. So I'm hoping this isn't quite that bad, but you're putting that much time and investment in. I would hope the other characters are way stronger than the starter character to kind of make up for it. Like I said, don't know what happens when you die. You can make choices of which characters. You might have to build up a character once you get them, which could be interesting. All right, so let's grab our bonuses, which is just we get an extra card at this point to start with. So I think I'm going to take the attack with block. I did take over-under in my last run, so I'll take From the Shadows in this one.
A mob of angry workers is throwing stones at a man outside a burning factory. As you approach, you mark the copper piping and mechanisms that have somehow given him life. The crowd disperses, and the creature tells you he has no memory of his past, only of the man who gave him this new life, the Professor.
I need to flee the city, or he'll kill me.
Okay, so in the mission, we have a variety of things going. Actually, we can only start with an encounter, so usually there's multiple things here. So the spots for the tarot cards are up here, relics would be here, consumables will go here, or actions when we're in a fight are here. So this track is the doom level. So as you play travel cards to get close to the objective, the sense of impending doom grows, increasing the difficulty of enemy encounters. So what I didn't realize was, so this number corresponds to the number of cards we're playing. So if I play this, it's going to go up by 1. Once it gets to 15, it's going to be at doom level 1, which will mean all enemies do 25% more damage and have 25% more health. If we then go through, this will carry over through the entire mission. So if we've got like multiple stages to go through, like this is just the first stage of the mission, or the first quest in the overall mission, it's going to keep going. So usually by the time you get into the second one, it's already they've got a 25% bonus. When you get further in, they might be having a 50% health and damage bonus, which can get pretty rough as you go through, because enemies aren't like super weak. They do quite a bit of damage. And then as we're going through, we do have some ways that will adjust this a little bit or make it a little bit easier or go up a little slower, that kind of thing, if we can find them. So it's kind of random. And there's that trade-off of, do I want to get supplies? Most things cost 1 towards the Doom track, but supplies are always 2, so things like that. So one thing I usually do is if there's fights, I take all the fights as early as I can and try to run through them, but the travel deck is very similar to the kind of way travel worked in Menace from the Deep as well. A lot of similar mechanics, which is fine because I did really enjoy that game. So let's jump into our first encounter, which is set for this particular mission.
The crowd disperses, and the creature tells you he has no memory of his past, only of the man who gave him this new life, the Professor.
I need to flee the city, or he'll kill me.
Let's offer protection.
Despite the crowd's brutality, He appears to have healed at an astonishing rate.
I can be handy in a scrap, if you'll let me.
He says with optimism. If you can get him to the river, he can escape by boat. But you'll have to get past this mob first.
So I do really love these stories, all voiced, except for maybe a couple, which is probably just because it's still early release. It's still before the release date doing this, but almost all of them have been fully voiced, and it's really, really good stories, really interesting stuff, fun to kind of see, and like I said, none of these have repeated on me yet. We get an ally, Claude Marionette. Hey, he looks pretty normal compared to the other ones that I saw. So this is the Claude Marionette over here. Yeah, he's fairly tough. He regenerates, looks like. He's got a bit of evasion because he's in my group. He's got the same undying loyalty as my dog does. All right, so quite a bit of things going on. As you can kind of see, attacks coming in would be above my characters, attacks going out above theirs. So we do have a few attacks kind of scattered out. My special ability is that I can draw a card up to 3 times during a combat. Not a huge amount that I can do here. I've got no defense. We could draw something to get some defense, but I do regenerate every turn, and I do have a 10% chance to avoid getting hit by any incoming attacks. Not that that's a huge amount. I only do 7, so even if I prioritize one target, we can't kill anybody, but with the damage going out here, we could make sure that my dog kills you. And you're attacking me, so how about we just do that? Instead of spreading out our damage. Just prioritize taking out one of the enemy. Dog eats him. Our buddy gets a nice smack off on grumpy grandma back there. We've got regeneration, so we can actually kind of tank things pretty effectively. Okay. Attacks going in, and I can play the defense on any of my friends, but that's probably just this character, I would assume. Looks like we've got some debuffs going out, and they're buffing. You're down to 21, so if we can draw an attack, I can just kill you. So I'm going to try to do that. Well, I didn't get a 7 attack. Let's just prioritize damage. Yeah, let's try one more time. Ah, so many defends. Alright, fine. Hoping I could take out another enemy. So a debuff there, scratch. Got bleeds going out. Okay. Lots of attacks. Let's pick you off. So just debuffs coming in, nothing crazy. We do have 9 damage going out, 7 damage going out. So let's just work on you. A lot of the icons and things are also very similar to Menace from the Deep. We got weakness, so we're doing 20% less damage. That's unfortunate. So we're only doing 5. Yeah, I can't do a lot. Since I can't kill anybody, let's just spread some damage. Fairly easy fight here. Relatively. Goodbye. And that will kill you when our dog or our buddy here finishes you off. So I'm just going to armor myself. Alright, dog ate the grandma. Okay, so we get some cash, we get some experience. Burnt Locket. Draw 1 card from the exhaust pile, costs 0. I'll take it if we get to a vendor, and I don't have anything that exhausts right now, so I could just sell it when we get to a vendor. For options for cards, we took this one. Let's grab the over-under. It's kind of random, but we'll get more actions as we go. No tarot cards yet. Now we've got some options. Okay, so things are fine now, so what I would probably do would focus on fights early on. So scavenging materials. Do an encounter. The encounters are always interesting. Whisper in the dark. Let's fight some corrupt creatures. we have a two-headed rat and some Skaven-looking things. Or I'm not sure. It looks like they're wearing flesh masks. Nimble rat servant, and there's an apex rat over here. Lots of attacks coming out at us, which is a bit nasty. I'm gonna defend myself. Just hitting a sanity attack on my dog. That's interesting. Yeah, let's just spread some random damage around and see what we do. Alright, we hit same character. Less damage coming in, bleed going out. What did you get there? Poisoned, alright. The bleeds don't trigger until after they take an action, so if you've got bleed stacks that would finish somebody off, they're not going to die beforehand. They will actually get the attack off. No attacks coming in. We've got a big attack going out. So I'll make sure you die. Let's draw something. 4 bleed going out, it looks like. Alright, we could work on you, I guess. Well, you're already bleeding. Let's hit the apex rat in the back there. Oh, you're poisoning me. That's what that is. Toxicity. Well, I've got regeneration. We can kind of deal with that a little bit. Looks like he just buffed his buddy who was already dead, so didn't do anything. Decent attacks coming my way, which I'm not super happy about. Let's throw at least some block up. Yeah, since I am a little down, we'll armor up and just get a little bit of damage out. Let's keep working on you since we've got damage going out at you. Some of the enemies in this zone are really freaky looking, like amalgamations, like Frankenstein monster kind of things, with like no head and like a crane instead. It's really creepy. Sanity attack coming in, that's not very nice. Well, let's do some random damage. Okay, spread out that time. No attacks coming in, so let's just keep working on you. Get those bleeds out over there on the rat. Freaky two-headed experimental rat. Okay, let's finish you off. And I'll do some damage to your armor. And I'll give you some block, because why not? You lose half of your block every turn. And I think it's rounded down, so if you had like 1, it becomes 0. So, yeah, finish you off real quick. Second fight done. We got a tarot card. Let's see. Reduce Doom by 2 when visiting Anselina or the Merchant. That's totally fine. No negatives at all. Card. Trick Shot is okay. I do like the bleed, but I'll take the Trick Shot. So vulnerable, so 50% more damage, and then we do the hit. Scavenging. We get quite a bit of scavenging opportunities. Let's do the encounter, see what we get.
A massive hound sits beneath a lamppost, coat bristled, muzzle slick with something dark. Its eyes reflect silver as it regards your approach.
Sure, let's try to play fetch.
It blocks your path. You search your pockets for something to throw and lob it into a nearby alley. The hound yawns with disinterest and lays its head on its enormous paws. You pass with caution.
Okay. Oh, we lost our burnt locket, which is fine because it wasn't going to do me anything anyway. Interesting that we had that. We threw our locket away. We're doing fine on health and stuff. No reason to go to the Friar and Folly. So, Rising Tensions is a fight. Whispers in the Dark, also a fight. Let's check out the rusting machinery. Discover a long-abandoned machine of unknown purpose. A rusty metal gearbox, chain, and other mechanisms lay half hidden in the weeds. We can restore some health and nerve, gain a card, gain 5 salvage. We do need salvage for upgrades, so I'm going to take all the salvage I can. It's pretty expensive, like at this point, 20 probably minimum to do anything useful. Counter there. Let's fight rat creatures again, I guess. Now there's more of them. Mutated rat and a gutter rat. Lots of attacks coming in. Do have my trick shot now. Is anyone being attacked? No. Looks like we're just doing like the debuff is going out from my dog. Okay. Lowest health is in the back, so let's target you. Have some vulnerable. Take some extra damage. I'm just going to prioritize doing damage. I'm even going to see if I can draw another attack. Hey, look at that. We do have that evasion, so there's always a chance we avoid a hit coming in. I don't think you can avoid any of the debuffs, though. Alright, nobody's going to finish you off, so I will. Decent attacks. Got a 7 attack going out, a 9 attack going out. Nobody's hitting me. So, yeah, we'll just do some damage here. Save my card draws for now. So if you've played Menace from the Deep, the combat's going to seem very similar, I think, in a lot of ways. The only difference, really, just the tarot cards. We've got the sanity, we've got the health, we've got our relics giving us various different things, actions, and consumables. The special action is new. Like I said, I haven't died yet, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But I really like the stories we're kind of running into. That's kind of the main draw as we're going through. We do have random damage. Sure, let's do some random damage. And we'll hit you some more. So you're gonna die. Okay, nothing really coming out. Good damage going out. We could spread some... let's just prioritize. See if I can draw another attack. There we go. Not quite enough to kill the mutated rat off. Got an evasion there. Let's do this. Nope, I thought that was a 4. So it was a 5. I thought that was going to kill you. Fine, be that way. We'll just kill you later. We can handle the damage coming in right now, it's fine. Yeah, especially the regeneration with that upgraded, it's been really helpful. We can do 6 to everybody. And then just finish you off. Or not, you had armor, never mind. The other attacks will finish you off. My friends will finish you off. I'm already doing the math in my head, going too fast. Okay, another tarot card. You don't have to take stuff if it's offered to you. At the start of the battle, you gain 2 strength, and all enemies gain 1 strength. So I do 4 extra damage. All the enemies do 2 extra damage. So this is another one of those examples of things when there's always that downside. I'm not sure that's worth it. 2 extra damage on every attack coming in. And it doesn't go away. It stays for the whole battle, unless you have a way to get rid of a buff on an enemy. I don't think that's safe, so I'm not going to take it. We will take a card. I do like this one, the 12 damage and 2 bleed, just directing my dog to attack people. We don't have to take the card, we just kind of skip it. Okay. Let's check out the encounter. Oh, man-made horrors, we're going to have to do that.
You find a discarded stack of papers, torn and blood-spattered. They appear to be bulletins.
Make sure you're not alone. Okay, now I'm like paranoid seeing that result. I'm just gonna read like.
Workers unite is scrawled broadly. Join the Red Pack and fight for your liberty. A red A for anarchy is scribbled below.
Found a clue. I think that was the last clue I needed. Complete all insight encounters for Dust, Flesh, and Steel. So we found that. So yeah, we've got the boss fight now unlocked with Professor Vane. So we'll finish our quests and then we'll have to do that. Actually, it looks like we might be doing it right now.
You and your companion come across a chessboard in the park, with the pieces on their starting squares. You decide to play a match as a respite from the difficulties of the night. As the opening turns into the middle game, your companion begins to ruminate.
Let's discuss London.
I cannot hope to live longer than a few months. My organs, in their revived state, will eventually fail, and I will expire. I cannot know how this will all turn out for London, but if I can, I hope to see the countryside once again. I cannot stay much longer in this cesspool of violence and spiritual decay.
With that, you capture his kingside bishop with your knight, opening a file for your rook, and set up a checkmate.
What did we get? When a card triggers its effect more than one time, it will trigger 2 more times and then exhaust. We do have some cards I've seen that will do that kind of stuff. So like 8 damage 2 times or 3 times, that kind of stuff. So we'll do it way more, but then we are done with it for the fight. So exhaust just means we lose it for the rest of the fight. That's not bad. I'll take it. Once we have one up here, it's not so easy to get rid of. So that's a whole other thing. So yeah, I guess we just had that because we found the quest. Or it was guaranteed to happen at that point, kind of like this is. Let's go man-made horrors. There we go. This one's not quite as horrifying. This one that's just literally like a big torso, big like giant dude. Instead of a head, he has a crane. So a little creepy. Hulking marionette and a skulking gravedigger. So this guy, when we attack him, gets a little bit of block. He's vulnerable to burning cold and electric. That's about it. Nothing too special. Okay. You are weaker, so I think we probably want to target you, even though we have damage going out. I mean, we could prioritize that. The vulnerable will mean my dog will do more damage. Alright, you talked me into it. So now it's 13 damage. Do I want to hunt for anything else? A lot of damage going in my dog. Let's just defend my doggo. Hercules can mostly handle himself, but I'll throw some block on him if I get the chance when he's got a lot of hits coming in. He actually evaded one, which is good, so he didn't take too much. Alright. No attacks my way. The vulnerable's gone, but we do have 7 attack going out. So they're going to buff themselves, so they're going to do more damage. The next one. You're weaker now, and you're bleeding, so I think we just focus on you. Get a little stab out. So with the damage buff, if we do damage to them, they'll lose the buff. But I don't know if they've got block, if that will work. So let's make sure. Send our dog after him. Still a lot of damage coming out. Hit you, so you lose the damage bonus. So he'll die after he attacks. I'm going to take a decent chunk of damage here. I evaded nothing. But we've got the regeneration if we can keep things going. Yeah, let's go trick shot. Let's try to get some attack, yeah. So this one, because of this, should activate 4 times. Not that we need it. Yeah, so it did activate 4 times. Then we would lose it for the rest of the fight if we had kept going. Alright, we've got remove all static charge and heal 5. We don't have to have the static charge to use it, so we can just kind of heal if we want to. Gain a card, 2 blind, so each one gives a 10% chance to miss for the enemies. Draw a card, it's okay. Apply 3 stacks of a random debuff. That's interesting. I do like the trick shot, actually. That's quite good. If we upgrade it, I'll bet you it probably is 2 vulnerability, so it lasts for a couple turns. 3 stacks of a random debuff is interesting. I'll take the trick shot, though. I don't have anything yet to boost my actions, which I usually do find at some point, either tarot cards or relic. So we'll see what we can find. Okay. So we're almost to the end. Vigor, I am down a bit. Money, I'm fine. We can remove a tarot card here, but I'm fine with the tarot cards I have. Let's just grab some supplies. You find a small stores room at the edge of a worker's dormitory. The door is padlocked, but a window stands conveniently ajar. Now, these do repeat, of course, as you would expect. It's the kind of story beats, missions, quests, all that kind of stuff that I haven't seen repeat. So I could spend some money to get extra. I think I will. Yeah, I'm prioritizing salvage right now because I want to get as much as I can to upgrade the airship for different bonuses and maybe unlock another character. So, end of our quest here.
You reach the end of the street and hear the running water of a nearby river. If he takes a boat downstream to the Thames, he may be able to leave the city safely. He looks to you with uncertainty.
So we're finishing this storyline, but the fighting the professor will probably be after whatever other ones we have to do. What the heck is that? Wish him peace.
You give him encouragement, hoping that he finds a quiet place to contemplate his remaining time here. You are glad for his company and learn from him in some strange way.
Okay, we get an upgraded card. It's random. It's not a 2 vulnerable, but it is more damage. That's nice. We lose our extra
Discovering
buddy.
an abandoned narrowboat along the River Lee, you send the wretched fellow on his way.
You've shown great kindness that I shan't soon forget. I can manage on my own now, but I shall never know real peace until the professor is stopped.
We're working on that. So, take a turn at ease before continuing to the next missions. This is kind of the intermediate thing, so kind of based on your upgrades. We'll restore health, and the bonus that I have is that I can get rid of a card in my deck. That's about it. So, remove a card? No, we're just going to get the health.
A church in Hampstead is beset by an horrific creature. The terrified parishioners have taken refuge within the sacristy and sealed the door, but the barricade won't last long.
A place of worship. Our next quest, so probably a big fight at the end. We haven't gone up in Doom level yet, but it is definitely going to get there soon. So, yeah, we definitely want to fight first. Crazy humans or man-made horrors? Let's go the man-made horrors. I have less assistance now because we don't have our buddy anymore. Yeah, let's start it off with just random tons of damage all over the place. Okay, I do have a lot of attack coming my way, so let's block a bit. Kind of relying on that evasion and some regeneration, hopefully. Okay, no attacks coming in. I think we just prioritize taking you down. It does get that armor, so it's reduced each time we attack. Well, let's just whittle you down. Okay, buff on both of them. So, Do this. We'll scatter shot. Get rid of that buff. Take him out. Alright, how about some more vulnerable? No attacks coming my way, so we're fine to just send it. Yeah, no problem. I could drag it out to try to heal a bit, but I'm just trying to get through. Okay, so this is an inventory item I have not been able to use. I don't know what it's supposed to do. So it says reduces doom level by 3. So far I haven't been able to get it to do anything as far as I can tell. So 6 damage of trauma, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. 8 damage random 2 times, 10 piercing damage, and 4 bleeding. I don't have additional actions, so I feel like taking a 3 is not that great. We can do a lot of damage with this. So I will take that, even though it is random. So currently our doom level is, it does say 1, but I think technically that means 0, essentially. So if it goes up to 2, will they get a 25% bonus? I swear I've used this at that point and it just didn't do anything. So I'm not sure if something was weird or not. I can't use it in this menu either. I've got to be in a fight to use it. So that might be just a weird issue that will be resolved soon, or maybe I was just using it at a weird time or something. I don't know. Anyway, everything else seemed to work fine. That was the only thing I've noticed that's kind of odd. Let's fight some humans. That's not a human! That's kind of the opposite. Well, maybe not the opposite. Unbroken lycanthrope. Lots of damage going out. A draw. I'd like to see if I can get a vulnerable. No. Alright, there's only one enemy, so we can do a bunch of damage. I was hoping to do vulnerable and then do that. I just didn't want to burn all my draws right away. So I'm fine. You're blocking half of the attack. Let's just do damage. Big bleed. Gonna buff yourself, alright. Let's draw again. There we go. There's a vulnerable. It's not the upgraded vulnerable, though. And let's go scattershot while you're vulnerable. Oh. That was the wrong one. I was thinking it was the other one. That was the damage everybody. Should have just done the 2 attacks, but Hercules gets a big hit in as well. Just weakened us, so we're doing less damage. I'll put vulnerable on you instead then. How about that? You're going to hit us both for quite a bit. I'm not doing much damage, and my dog isn't attacking. I'll do 7, and I'll just block a bit. Alright, you're doomed. Hercules can take him down. I think it's funny that when we have the Hercules attacks, we shoot the shotgun anyway. We've got just a heal item. So apply spiky, so we do some damage back if he gets attacked. 12 piercing, so it ignores armor, and we've got the knee to the gut. Since I don't have the extra actions yet, I'm hesitant to take that. I think I'll just take the knee to the gut. Okay, so when we play the next one, it will go up. What was... didn't I get something? Reduce Doom by 2 when visiting Arcelina or the Merchant. So I can go to the Merchant. I think it'll go up to 15. It'll then be at 0. And then it won't actually reduce. So because of the timing, I don't think that's going to work. So we'll hold off on that. We might as well grab some storage to get some resources. Do I want to pay? Yeah, I'm going to pay. Burning all my cash there. Okay, so we're now at Doom level 2. Currently 0 on the track, so we don't want to go to the merchant. Let's do an encounter.
From the shadows, a ragged worker growls at you. His eyes burn like coals, and he tears at his shirt in anguish.
Yeah, let's just back
You
away.
slip away before his transformation is complete. Moments later, a chorus of howling erupts through the streets.
Lose some sanity, nothing else. Probably if we stayed, we would have gone into a fight there. I'm not sure. Let's get access to the college and get a relic there. So yeah, we can kind of see now the Doom, the bonus. I wonder if this only affects the enemies in this particular fight, rather than the Doom track as a whole. That might be the way it works, because it is a consumable we use during combat. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. We do have some damage going out at you. These guys... They don't lose block. Immune to poison, bleeding, vulnerable to electric. Alright, they're kind of nasty. Get some vulnerable on you. Let's do a ton of random damage. Yeah, really spread it out all over the place, though. My dog is taking a ton of damage. I haven't had my dog go down during a fight either, so I'm not sure what happens. I think he's just downed, and then we might have a chance to get him back up. We got the evasion there, so we got pretty lucky. So they're armoring up a bunch. Nice. Let's go trick shot. Get the attack. I think we'll hold off. We'll just give you some trauma. Weakness goes out. Don't like the increased strength. That is not a good thing. They've got damage bonuses now as well. I don't know if we do get a hit off. I think we have to hit... Okay, just hitting their armory does knock the bonus off. So let's do that. Just to reduce the damage a bit. And then let's protect you so you don't die. Pretty sure this only heals me. Same with the other one. See if we get lucky with an evade. Nope. Okay, who's going for my dog? You're spreading up attacks. Well, we can shield you up, so he's shielding himself, so he'll be fine. Let's just take you out. So we have things a little bit easier to deal with here. Nice, we got an evade. 10 attack going out. Let's use our special ability here. Oh, nice. Just instantly one-shotted him. Said we could kind of drag this out, maybe get some regeneration on our dog. But we'll just take him out. Remove all spores, heal 5. Nah, we're fine. I've already got a healing item, so it's alright. So we have reduced the energy cost or action cost of a random card in your hand by 1 this combat, but it costs 1, so I don't see the point. Draw 2 cards. Gain 6 block, draw 2 cards, you gain 1 vulnerable. I don't think the 6 block and 2 cards is worth me taking 50% more damage. And if I'm not being attacked that turn, it's fine, because it does go away after a turn. But otherwise, no. I think I'm going to reject a card. Or reject it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't really like either of those options. Any of those options. So, yeah, if I had to guess, I think this will only affect the bonus. Since we're at Doom level 2, we do this, it would go to 0. If it's 3, it would go to 0, kind of thing, in that one combat. So I was thinking it would affect the Doom track, so maybe that's why I thought it didn't do anything. Let's look at a relic. It's my first one. It reduces it by 2. So we can check out the merchant, but I do want some extra cash. Let's see what kind of a relic we can find. The sharp silhouette of Gothic towers against the night sky leads you to an old boys' school. Whatever students attended this place now are none are present now. You decide to take shelter in the library, where a peculiar old man is reading in the antiquities section. He glances around nervously and slips away into the maze of shelving. Gain a rare card or a relic. Free upgrade. Let's get a relic, though. Starting your turn, draw a card. Increase max vigor by 15 and lose... Oh, and heal 15. Oh, I was thinking lose. Every 5th attack card played grants 5 block. So every single turn we get an extra card. Or we're just tanky. Let's take more cards, I think. I was really hoping for something that gives me more actions in combat. That's what I really want. I'm a little banged up, but it's fine, because we've got healing items. I need more money before we go to the merchant, so let's do a fight. We could do an elite fight to get a relic as well. There's one I don't think I've seen before. Clawed Marionette. 15 attack going out. Let's give you some block. Both pretty healthy. You're going for him, so let's at least help with that. And I think I'm going to knee to the gut. Give you some trauma as well. Didn't evade anything. Need you to evade and regenerate. Alright, attack's coming my way. That's fine. Let's go. More vulnerability. And we'll just throw damage around. Most of it hit here, but we did do some damage. Because I can kind of tank it and heal. Because we get a consumable every single fight. Evaded it. Look at that. Now I've got a lot of attacks coming my way. Okay. How about we get some bleed on you?
Go for it, Hercules.
Could get a little bit of block. It's 23 damage, yeah. And we evaded nothing. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my blood fruit. Wouldn't kill you. The bleed will kill you after you're done, though. If we do 6 damage. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let's draw. Get an attack out on the other one. So the scratches, what do they do? 3 stacks, deal 6 damage. Okay, definitely working on it. attacking me for 11. That's not so nice. Get a bit of block, and let's get a bleed going on you.
Go get it.
Even more bleed, anyway. Have some vulnerable. Well, I can kill you now. Or we could block and try to get some extra regen. It's only going to give him like one more because he's going to take one through. Well, if I defend, he's fine. If it adds a stack of scratch, that's a problem. I think it's just an attack. So yeah, I'm going to stall here for a turn to get a little bit more healing on my dog. Okay. Now we can kind of finish you off. Let's go ahead and use this. Little overkill. What do we got? 2 regen to your ally or agent. Okay. Point blank. 25 damage for 3. Interesting. Bluff I do like. Discard a card, apply 1 vulnerable and weakness to all enemies. It's nice, so they do less damage and take more. Yeah, we can take that, because usually something I can't play. Would like more money before we go to the merchant. I can earn money here. So I could just, like, we could do an elite fight, then go to the merchant. Or we could get money, it's like 75 bucks, and then go to the merchant. Let's do that. We could also get a bunch of health back, but I think I want the money to go into the merchant. So the Doom track should have gone down. Yeah, it's going down by 2. Alright, we've got 251 relics. Into battle, heal 6. Pretty good. When you deal unblocked damage to an enemy, apply 2 static charge. Static charge deals 1 to 2 damage at the end of the turn. Also pretty decent. Crowfeather Quill. When you deal unblocked damage to an enemy, apply 1 poison. There's no negative or anything to that either. So no negatives on these. Or the heal. I kind of like the static. Don't have a lot of cash left. We could sell stuff like this potentially. How vulnerable? 8 block to an ally. Nothing that great. I would take the pounce if I could afford it. It's an upgraded pounce as well. I could sell multiple items though to do it. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, let's do that, and I'll take the upgraded pounce.
Here's the chapel in question. A dead body in a tradesman's apron fallen across the open threshold. As you approach, a deep, low groan sounds from within. A portly fellow with a sprung collar is watching from a safe distance, sweating profusely. You could peek through the doorway and take measure of your adversary, or else talk to this gentleman first.
Yeah, let's question the witness.
The man's staring eyes remain fixed on the doorway, even when you stand directly before him. When you speak, he jumps and hollers, "The devil sent that creature to claim the wicked. It's the end for us all. It's the book of Revelations, I tell you. I must find my wife." And he scampers off. A resounding clap of wood on stone draws you running to the chapel.
Looks like it went up as well for that. Well, he's not a happy-looking camper, is he? Experiment number 427. Immune to burning. Prevents status effects 2 times. And of course there's the Doom track. You're hitting my dog for an awful lot. You're not immune to pounce, though. And a stun. Oh, you are! Never mind, I'm an idiot. Stun counts as an effect. Well, crap. Okay. You are attacking. Kind of like, yeah, let's just get some defend on you so you're not getting trashed too badly. Hopefully you can evade one of those. That's a nope. Okay. Alright, so it's gone now. The bleed is in. So we kind of wasted that stun, unfortunately. But we did do a lot of damage. 21 attack on me is unfortunate. Let's do just a ton of damage. We get a whole bunch of static shock charges as well. I don't have a block. We could attack and get a little bit of block. Let's see if I can draw. Yeah, I'll just get a defend. I did not evade it, and he set me on fire, which is not something I enjoy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give myself some additional regeneration. Okay, no attacks coming in, so I'm going to use my bluff. Get rid of the defend. We've already got vulnerable, let's add some more vulnerable. Let's just go for big damage. Or do I want to get a trauma on you as well? Let's just go big damage. Just set us on fire. 24 attack coming out. That's a bit rough. Can reduce his damage. I can do a crap ton of damage. Okay. Basic attack. He's still going to do 18. Let's hit him a bunch. Barely survives. He will get his attack off. Then he'll die to the bleeding and static charge and stuff. We'll get a bit of block and hope I avoid at least one of them. Nope, we took them both. Not in good shape. We get a relic. Start a battle, apply 1 weakness and 1 vulnerability to a random enemy. No downsides for me, so that's fine. Start a battle, you and allies gain 4 shell, which is block. We'll take that. Free block is always good. Inventory, we've got a Arachnobot we can get, sure. Tarot card, increase max by 1. At the end of battle, increase doom by 2. That's not great. So every time we fight, the doom track goes up like super fast. I don't think that's worth it. I'll take the card. Remove 1 debuff and apply 1 regeneration to an ally. It's okay. 3 cards, discard 1. 7 damage and gain some money. Yeah, we'll take the mug. We'll mug people.
The unholy creation sputters and collapses to the floor, the rattle of the stained glass echoing its final breath. The parishioners rush out from their confinement with much mopping of brows and expressions of relief. This threat, at least, has been quelled, but the creator of these monstrosities must still be dealt with.
Okay, I'm not sure if this will be leading into the boss fight, or if we're going to have just another mission to do. We'll take a quick look and we'll kind of see. We are going to get some health. I have a chance to get rid of a card. I'm fine with the cards we've got.
A witness reports a grisly murder on factory grounds, and summon you to investigate. When you arrive, you are shown evidence of our gargantuan creature. The destruction left in the abomination's wake is scarcely to be believed. but at least the splintered doorframes and clawed-up streets will make the thing easy to track. You're less sanguine about actually killing it, but such is the job.
I'm getting paid? Mission 3, the Abomination. So I think Vane will be after we do the Abomination fight. But yeah, it's kind of a bit of a look at how things are going so far in the game, and after having figured out a few more things and having had some more time to kind of look it over, and I'm pleasantly surprised, if I could talk. I thought this would be kind of another kind of just okay game, but I think the card game, especially a lot of people don't like card games, but there's a lot of story stuff in here, which I think does a really good job of keeping you interested and compelled to kind of do the missions. There's little arcs inside of bigger arcs, and they all have nice voice acting and stories, which I think really helps. So yeah, I'm really enjoying my time with the game. I'm having a lot of fun, and I keep coming back to this rather than playing something else. So yeah, a positive review overall for me at this point. Sure, we still have to see how the meta progression goes and how easy it is to get stuff. I've gotten a good amount of supplies in this run, up to 25. So I'm hoping it's a bit better of an economy than Menace from the Deep. But I enjoyed that game, and I enjoy this one. And I think, actually, I enjoy this one a little better because of a lot of the storytelling, some of the dark fantasy, Victorian steampunk themes, and that kind of stuff. I love Lovecraftian stuff as well, so that's part of why I played Menace from the Deep a lot. But this one has a lot of cool stuff going for it as well, and I'd really want to see what the other characters are like. But anyway, this has been more of Hunter's Moon. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. Until then, have a good one.